You might be asking the question, why do I talk about these things? Because I went through a lot. Fire burnt my home in Dallas, Texas. We almost lost our lives. Do you understand that? And not only that, I had a tragic motor accident that I almost lost my life. But God preserved me. Do you understand what I'm saying? So you want to talk about pain? I've seen my own fair share of pain. And I think God preserves me. You don't know what it meant when that morning we were coming down and they said if we wasted 5 minutes in that house, we would have all died. I don't know how we made it out of that building with my daughter and my wife and me. We would have all died in that house. It was the grace of God that preserved me. And if there's anything I should live my life for, is to help liberate humanity. I want to let you guys know it is our time. Rise up right now and begin to think of how to penetrate the system that you find yourself in. Penetrate that system. Cooperate. I'm going to lay a blueprint at the end of this video, but I just want to throw this head on and let you know that you should not be the 60 or the 50-year-old that looks back and blame the past, or blame your parents, or blame someone else for the reason why you're where you are. We can change it.
Roland Fru, founder of CSDP, Cameroon Sustainable Development Project. You have taught us the true meaning of hard work and determination. You have taught us how to believe in ourselves. You are one of the prides, the lives of the youth of Cameroon. You are an inspiration to our generation. We love you, Mr. Roland Fru.
What change starts when we know and embrace our history. Steve Jobs says something very interesting, that when we grow up, we get to be told that the world is the way it is, and all you have to do is fit in and just live a cool life, get a house, get a wife. But he says that is a very limiting life. And he said everything around you that you call life was created by people who are no smarter than you. And you can fix it. You can change it. You can influence it. You can influence that entire nation. It's a powerful thing to have that number of people that you can penetrate. You don't need a passport. You don't need a visa to go to French Cameroon. And you can penetrate that system and make your mark. For the past 50 years or 60 years, all we've been hearing is that, oh, we don't have opportunities, because everybody's looking at resource. If you ask them, what is the primary strategy to develop that economy? Resource. But if you ask me, my primary resource to develop Cameroon, it is people. That is the difference. Growth mindset. Sustainable change. The people. Not the resource. When the people start thinking differently, change comes. When the people start acting differently, change comes. When the people have a different set of belief systems, change comes. Are you picking what I'm putting on the ground? Not resources. All your old folks and all those people preaching separation and the whole notion is based on resource. If you ask them, their primary strategy to revive that economy is to sell resource and get money from that resource. They don't have creative ways. They don't know how you can get jobs abroad from Cameroon. They don't understand that, how to engage in trade, how to do business. There are numerous customer service jobs, people looking for people who can code, do websites and all of that. They don't understand. They might just lay this on the ground to let you know, oh, this is what we're going to have. We're going to have an online platform. But deep in their soul, what they really believe is how you will get resource to develop that economy. Because if you can have all these jobs, right, from back home, then there is no need for us separating, right? Because the government cannot take that money from you if you are working from abroad, from home. If you're working abroad from home, there's no way the government can take that money from you because it comes directly to your bank account. They don't know how you can do that. They don't understand your challenges. They don't know how you relate with other people on TikTok online. They don't understand how you use Facebook to create amazing relationships. They don't understand the challenges that you're facing in your relationships, in marriage. How men and women date these days. And all of that is very, very important for the sustainability of an economy. It's very important. And that is the perspective that I approach this problem from. Your culture, your dressing, your language, how you relate with people is a different way. And that is why we are saying we got to let go of all this tradition and tribal beliefs, because they are one of the highest factors that have been hindering us. And we young people, we see the world differently. We see it completely different. And we are going to take it as we see it and influence it and change it. That is what we'll be doing for Northwest and Southwest. And guys, it is possible. Again, I repeat, it is possible for us to be respected. It is possible for us to have equal opportunities. in Cameroon as English-speaking Cameroonians without bloodshed, without people dying. And we can achieve this through what I call the English Cameroon Sustainable Development Project. I repeat, the English Cameroon Sustainable Development Project is the blueprint through which we will achieve this goal. So that is an organization that we are creating that is embarking on projects that will help us create sustainable development. The whole thing, guys, is we need systematic change in Cameroon. And you cannot influence that kind of a system through legislation. I repeat that. There are many things you guys have written into law or legislated, but it's not actually happening in the real world, right? And so all of that legislation, let's sit on the table and dialogue. We're not going to work with that. If you guys don't want to dialogue, keep your dialogue. We're going to change that system. We will change everything within that economy within a very short period of time. Just watch and see. And I want to say these things are going to come. We will have everything without bloodshed. What English-speaking Cameroonians need is what I call systematic change. And systematic change doesn't come through legislation. And we can use this approach of systematic change without bloodshed to achieve all our dreams, our goals, and desire in Cameroon without people dying. And I've said it's true, the English Cameroon Sustainable Development Project. That is what we will embark on. If you are from 40 and below, this is for you, because 62% of our nation is below the age of 24. And if you look at it, guys, more than 70% of that nation, or if not 80% of that nation, is probably within the ages of 35 and below. Because the life expectancy of Cameroonians is about approximately 61 years. So most of these folks that you're looking at, they have probably 10, 15 years and they're going to pass on. There's a time for you guys to hold the bull by the horn and say, this is our life. We're taking this red pill. We want the growth mindset and not the fixed mindset. And we are going to change our circumstances so we don't live to tell the same story that we're hearing coming out of their mouth. Most of the old folks that I know will support us here, they realize that this is the situation that they're dealing with, and they changed their approach. They were flexible enough. Some of them learned how to speak French. I don't know how to speak French. Some of them learned how to speak French, and they were able to change their condition. Some decided to travel abroad and look for great jobs that could transform their condition. And they don't sit there, whine, and complain. They went on and transformed their situation. And today we look at them, they are different. Most of them will be coming on board to support this project. Most of them will be coming on board to help us young people to grow. We have to draw this line. If you are above the age of 40 and you believe in this fight and this struggle, go back home, set up a camp and fight with your people. But the people from the ages of 40 and below, we are having a completely different approach to this problem. And we are starting this campaign. It should go throughout the nation, both home and abroad. If you don't want to be part of it, fine. But if you're 40 and below, you are welcome. And if you are above 40, yes, and you support this initiative that we can bring about transformation, just as you have seen in most of the developed nations that you live in, we support you and we welcome you into our project. We will change it. What you call life was made by people who are no smarter than you, and you can influence it and make your mark on it.
We must reject those attributes that we have become accustomed to in our upbringing within the context of the occupation of our country. We must reject the populist approach that has been exacerbated in our struggle when somebody comes online for a few days spewing hate, anger and frustration, blackmail, and we are all cheering. We must be able to ask individuals.
Awesome. So the first thing that I want to say, I love that, because you have a plan. And when you have a plan, please don't call them blackleg if they have a plan, because I do have a plan. I have a plan for our people. And that plan is coming after careful observation of what the best nations on earth are doing. And we'll be able to track and measure progress with that plan, because it works. If the plan doesn't work, then we are not putting in the work. That plan works. Okay, guys, one of the group of people that have made significant progress throughout history is the Jews. They have been extremely successful in every nation on earth that they find themselves in. And that is exactly the energy that I'm bringing to our nation. It is going to be in the field of, we're going to have martial arts training for our people. So every English-speaking Cameroonian is going to be extremely strong. You can really fight. But our goal is not so that we go fight. We're going to be training that. Number two, we are going to copy the business systems of the Jews. We are going to look at how they treat money within their communities, within their family, which is very, very important. The Jewish people look at money differently, and they start training their kids from birth how to think and act with money. And that is very important for growth. They teach them how to network. They don't just go to church for church like we go to church, we just worship, we come back home. No, they go to church for network. They meet amazing people in the church. And guess what? When they are going to a community, they look at strategic places to live in. When we are going to a community, we look at the places where we will find our brothers and our sisters. But for instance, when we're coming to Houston, we were very, very strategic about it because I've read a lot of Jewish books, had a lot of Jewish friends, and I do their martial arts, the Krav Maga. I've been doing that for years with them. And so with that, I learned a lot about their culture. And so I realized that in a book that I read from Rabbi Lapin, and he said, when they go into a community, they are looking for places between major cities and airport. That is very, very strategic because through major cities, you understand that through the major airport, you realize that these are the group of people that are coming into the city. And so this is the kind of business that you can actually engage in within that community. With the cities, you'll be able to get down there and do trade and interact with the people. So they look for a strategic place to even buy or rent a house. You might be asking the question, why do I talk about these things? Because I went through a lot. Fire burnt my home in Dallas, Texas. We almost lost our lives. Do you understand that? And not only that, I had a tragic motor accident that I almost lost my life, but God preserved me. Do you understand what I'm saying? So you want to talk about pain? I've seen my own fair share of pain, and I think God preserves me. You don't know what it meant when that morning we were coming down and they said if we wasted 5 minutes in that house, we would have all died. I don't know how we made it out of that building with my daughter and my wife and me. We would have all died in that house. It was the grace of God that preserved me. And if there's anything I should live my life for, is to help liberate humanity. Because I saw the love and the care that white folks showed me during that era, including some people from our community. I should give back. I should do something to help free humanity. And I will start from our people. Do you understand what I'm saying? I left there. I went to the seminary, got a bachelor's in divinity. After that, I went on to do my master's in business administration with a concentration in finance. And I began to see how business works and understanding how you can transform people's lives through business. It is amazing. It's fascinating. And having Jewish friends and seeing how their economy works, they make sure that money turns within their economy at a minimum of 12 times before it goes out to the general economy. How did they do that within America? It's exactly what we will be doing in Northwest and Southwest. How to keep the money within the community and let that money circulate within the economy and within our economy, give birth to more money, and then before we let it out into the economy. In America, guys, they say money in the black community doesn't stay for up to 6 hours. It's gone back into the community. It's going back to the general economy. But the Jewish and the Asians, the Indians, it will stay up to 15 times. It will turn about 15 or 30 days within those economies, within those communities before it goes back into the general economy. And all of these systems are very, very practical, and you can implement them and get the result. Do you see what I'm saying? If we open our minds, and this is the thing, I want to make sure that this is very clear. There is something that is called the commander's intent. The commander's intent. It's a very fascinating principle that I read in a book. It's evident, right? Because it does happen. And the commander's intent was developed because most of the times the commanders used to detect. They would say, this is exactly what we need to do. The soldiers will stand in this part. This is exactly how they're going to approach the enemy. And what will happen is most of those soldiers go into battle and realize that there is a whole different landscape. The topography is different. And so they are forced to change strategies. And because of that, they cannot change the strategy because their soldier or their commander told them exactly what to do. And so most of the time they will lose or they will die. Now, they decided to say, this is the end goal that we want to achieve. And the level that the commanders intend. Now, the soldiers, if you get on ground and you realize that the topography is different compared to the one that you were shown, you are allowed to change strategy, but at the end of the day, the goal is what we want for you to achieve. We want to win, and which is what I put before us. The goal is that our generation, our group of people within the Cameroon don't perish. Our group of people shouldn't perish. They should be extremely successful. And so because I place success to be the goal, I'm looking for other strategies to arrive at that goal. Does that make sense? Within our country, we can be extremely successful. The Bamedeke people have proven that, but we are taking it to a whole different level right now. We will not sit and teach our young people that somebody who's rich is into cult. They probably killed somebody to achieve that. No, they will go learn from that person and be able to replicate the same result. That is what I'm talking about. Mindset shift. This is something most people haven't talked about. The mindset shift is huge to our progress and development. Moving from the scarcity mindset to the abundance mindset, from the fixed mindset to a growth mindset, is a huge transformation in our personal lives and at the level of the nation as well. If you like this video and you want to watch another one, click right here. If you want to watch the entire video, click right here.